Hello and welcome to And the Razzie Goes To, a podcast where we go through all the worst picture Razzie winners in order. I'm Will Purpura.
I'm Laura Merli.
And today we're talking about Under the Cherry Moon, 1986, directed and starring Prince.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of this movie before this? Or?
No, I heard of his other movie, which was actually pretty well received.
Yeah, Purple Rain.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that within the past year.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought some of the narrative stuff didn't hold. It's better than this.
Yeah.
It makes a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the biggest difference, and we'll probably discuss it, is the Purple Rain musical sequences are fantastic. And in this, there really are no musical sequences.
No, I thought it was going to be a musical. And there's a couple times where it seems like somebody's going to sing, and then he only sings once for a very short period of time.
Very disappointing when you're walking into a Prince movie that you're not hearing him sing. And
also a Prince movie where he is a gigolo. You think it would be a lot more fun to watch him do that, to watch him gigoloing.
There's not a lot of gigoloing. No.
I'll get right into the recap.
Sweet.
So Prince is a guy named Christopher. Not Christopher. He goes by the whole name the whole time.
3 syllables.
3 syllables. He's like, you can do it. Give me the respect of saying all 3.
Yes.
And I'll do that. So Christopher lives with a guy named Tricky.
Yeah. I think he also was a gigolo, right?
Yes.
So I think they might have been gigolos in crime, so to speak, or like partners in crime, but both gigolos. And I could see there being a little bit of a relationship, like a sexual relationship between the two of them as roommates.
Yeah, they frequently make really close, meaningful eye contact. They'll like jump in bed together. There's a scene where Christopher's taking a bath, playing with a little ducky, and Tricky's hanging out right next to him, just like chit-chatting and stuff in like a very intimate sort of way.
Yeah. They're both maybe sexually fluid.
Yeah, I think so. So Christopher works at this piano bar. An older lady comes in, Mrs. Wellington, and he's getting notes passed like, keep playing, she's into it. And then he's like, yeah, he like makes really intense eye contact with her, gives her these looks and plays harder. And then Tricky keeps giving him, he's doing the thing, and Tricky keeps giving him notes that's like, do it more piano, sexier piano. And he's like, I'm playing the piano as sexy as I can.
But then doesn't she wake up? There's like a big smiley face note.
Oh, yeah.
From Prince.
Yeah. So, yeah, she wakes up and he's just like, happy face. I took all your money. So then he goes out there. We find out they're in Paris. There's all these little Parisian kids like, give us some of your money, Mr. Rich Gigolo. And he's like, no, I need it. And then he goes back to his apartment. Tricky is having sex with their landlord, a woman named Katie. She's like, you still do need to pay rent. That wasn't enough.
They're 2 months behind.
Yeah, that's worth maybe 1 month, not 2.
Yeah.
So Tricky's scanning the newspaper for leads on women that they can seduce and get money from. And wouldn't you know it, there's a giant headline that's like, heiress Mary, who's turning 21, is going to get $1 gazillion on her 21st birthday. And they're like, this is our big break.
This is a sign.
Yeah. So Tricky's like, let's both just have at her. Let's crash her 21st birthday party.
You'd think this would be impossible to crash.
Yeah, you would think there's security. There's at least gates.
Oh, yeah.
They just go right in.
They go right in.
And Mary's not there yet. Mrs. Wellington is there.
Yeah.
Apparently she's like a family friend.
I guess so, yeah.
I thought that Mrs. Wellington was her mother the whole
time
I was watching this movie.
Yes, I thought
because the actress that they cast for Mrs. Wellington and the actress that they cast for her mother look so much alike.
Very close.
I didn't realize until after I watched the movie and I went on Wikipedia and was looking up facts about it. 2 different people.
Yeah, it was a very interesting choice that you'd think they would pick up on as they were filming. Like, these people look very similar to each other. We can't, this is going to be very hard to figure out.
Yeah, I'm not good with faces in general, and I hate it when movies do this. They'll cast similar looking people. And the same thing with the dad in this movie and some of his cronies.
Yes.
I had trouble a couple times being like, who is this?
Yes, totally.
There's a lot of different looking people in this world. We don't need to have this problem.
No, yeah.
Yeah, just cast people who look different from each other. But anyways, Mary is late to her own party. Now, presumably because she's putting on makeup, she's putting on clothes.
Nope.
Surprise.
She's naked.
Yeah. Mary walks out in just a towel, like she just walks out of the shower and goes, "Hey guys, you like my birthday suit?" and shows everyone her private areas. Now, this is a family birthday party.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
She's got like her grandparents, like little kids running around. This is not like a rager.
And this is another part of it. There's none of her, she doesn't really have a lot of friends in this movie. I think there's one part where she has like a couple of friends, but it wasn't like all my friends are here.
No.
This is like a big like old family party.
All her old relatives are like, "Oh, Mary, put your tits away." And she's like, "Fine." So then she goes in, she gets dolled up. Christopher and Tricky come up to her and they're like, "Hey, we got tarot cards. You want to know your future?" And she's like, "No, not really."
I just want to add this one other part, because I wish there was more stuff like this with her character in the movie. When she flashes somebody, then she goes, "Let's get rocking and rolling." And she goes to the band and she starts playing the drums.
Oh, yeah.
And she's pretty good. And I was like, this could have been part of the story. It never comes up again.
That was part where I really thought a music sequence was coming for sure, because she's playing the drums for a while. So I was like, okay, this has got to be the start of a song. And then it wasn't. She just stopped playing the drums.
And I thought, oh, for sure, later on they're going to start a band. Like, this is what's going to happen. And that the drums never got brought up again.
No.
Yeah.
We don't know, like, how she learned to play them or... that was weird.
Yeah. But she was cool. She was a cool drummer.
She did look cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're like, "Hey, look at us. Don't you find us good looking?" And she has this weird kind of like sort of British accent. You would think since they live in France, she would have a French accent, but no.
No one speaks French in this movie. There's not one French speaker. I don't even know if there's a French accent.
That is a strange part. Everybody's British in this.
Everybody, yeah. You wouldn't know that this was France unless they told you.
No, and they do say it
all the time.
A bunch of. We're in France. We're having a good day in France.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she kind of brushes off their advances. She actually kicks them out of the party.
Right.
They're all like offended and like very pissed off, but it's like they really weren't supposed to be there.
He's at the party and then she's having a private phone conversation.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, "Hello, Jonathan." It's like, I think Jonathan's on the phone or something like that. And he goes, "Ooh, Jonathan." And you pan over and Prince is just sitting there eating grapes. And
staring at her.
And she's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, grapes.
Sometimes when I look at Prince, I'm like, I get it, why he was like a sex symbol, but some of the shots in this movie, it's hard to believe like that people were taking this as like a really serious sex symbol. Like some of the faces that he pulls in this movie when he's trying to seduce Mary are like really outrageous.
There's some weird stuff. And in this one, he's just being like an annoying creep because she's like, "Get out. I'm trying to make a phone call." And he's like roaring at her, like being like a tiger or something.
Yeah, he was like, "Rare."
Yeah. And she's like, "No, I'm making a phone call. Leave." And then they eventually just toss them out.
Yeah, she gets security and she's like, "Bye." He goes to hook up with Mrs. Wellington. Mary's dad is there hooking up with Mrs. Wellington.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, this was a trap." And I could not understand from the movie or from reading about the movie afterwards a bunch online how that was a trap.
Yeah, I don't know. That felt like a weird piece of dialogue.
Yeah, like why did Mrs. Wellington want to be caught?
Yeah, that doesn't add up.
Yeah, we never know. Oh, he crashes Mary's birthday party with Tricky. They're like making fun of her. They're ragging on her for being like rich and out of touch. And she's like, oh, I do declare you are being rude and annoying. And then he's like, I have a song to sing.
Right.
And she's like, okay. So he gets on stage and he sings a song. And she's like, wow, this is cool. And then her dad comes in and is like, this song is too sexy. I'm sure my daughter won't be able to resist, and she needs to marry Jonathan, not this weird guy who's singing a sexy song.
Right.
So he gets really mad and like throws them out.
Yeah.
So then
They get thrown out again.
They get thrown out again. So him and Tricky are talking at the apartment, and Tricky's like, you know what? I think I'm really starting to fall in love with Mary. And Christopher's like, I'm starting to fall in love with Mary. And they're like, well, let's both just like try and do her.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because up until this point, all they've been doing is bullying her.
Yes.
They're just like goofing on her, and I don't know why she is interested either, because she's like, they're just annoying.
No, there's no good banter in this whole movie.
No.
The whole thing, they're just like, you're rich and dumb and gross. And she's like, oh no, how could you say such a thing to me?
Yeah.
And they're like, your dad tells you what to do. And she's like, oh, bleh. And then suddenly they're in love, and we don't know why.
It's almost borrowing from rom-coms like from the 40s or 50s or something, where people would argue, and that was like sexy banter back then.
Yeah.
But there's no sexual tension, or you don't feel like they like each other.
There's a difference between romantic tension arguing and just regular bickering. And it seems like they're just bickering the whole time.
Yeah.
And that goes on for like the first hour of the movie.
Yeah.
They just keep showing up and bickering with her.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're trying really hard to seduce her to get her money. How did they expect to do this by constantly shitting on her?
Yeah.
Is this like an early form of negging, perhaps?
I guess so, but I mean, like, you'd think that the people who wrote the script, it's like, he should be romantic during these scenes. In the beginning, he should be like romantic and sexy and not yelling and making fun of her all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, he's always just like, you're so lame and you're a rich loser.
Yeah.
And she's always like, yo, inappropriate. And like, he is a lot of the time.
He is,
He's just like showing up and, being weird.
Yeah.
He somehow meets up with Mary at like a horse race track, but they're both in cars.
Right.
And he's like, you want to race me?
Oh, right. Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I want to race you in my car.
Yeah.
So he goes 3, 2, and she just speeds off. And I was like, Mary, if you're going to cheat, you won't have really won.
Yeah.
Why are you cheating at this 2-person race?
Right.
You both know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they do that, and they're like, wow, that was cool. Mm-hmm. And then they like roll around in the grass having a hot time together. And then he's like, yeah, I'm going to call your dad. And I thought for sure that he was just messing with her, that he wasn't really going to do that.
Yeah.
But then he got up and walked toward a phone booth that was just in the middle of this field and called her dad.
Yeah.
Her mom picks up and is like, hey, what's up? And he puts on this like really weird voice too. He's like, hello, I want to talk to Isaac. And she's like, he's asleep. Can it wait till the morning? And he's like, it's really important.
It's like, this is ruining my prank.
Yeah. And she's like, okay. So she like wakes him up, gives him the phone. And he's like, I'm going to be with your daughter in a sexual way. And
the guy's like, what is happening right now? It's 3 a.m.
Yeah. And the dad's like, no, she's supposed to marry Jonathan because he's the one we picked for her and we like him and he's our guy and you're messing everything up. And then Christopher just hangs up the phone on him.
Did we ever meet Jonathan?
No.
Okay, sometimes I feel
hear
like
about
I'm missing
him
something.
so much.
I know.
I thought for sure Jonathan was going to show up in the climax, but he doesn't.
He's the most talked about off-screen character I think I've ever heard, where it's like Jonathan gets brought up in every scene.
Yeah, she's constantly like, I don't want to marry Jonathan. So like I kept thinking, is he someone who sucks? Like, are we gonna meet him and he's like even weirder than Christopher? Or like, is he gonna be like super old? Or like, what's his deal? We never learn anything about him besides that she just doesn't like him.
Right. Mm-hmm. The dad is weird, though.
Oh, yeah.
The dad is like kind of creepy and weirder than Christopher. So they did make him like an effective villain because he is like completely out of line.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dad has like a bunch of cronies and he's like, keep an eye on Christopher and Tricky because I don't want them to be around my daughter.
Is he a mob guy?
It was very unclear what his deal was.
Okay.
But he has like a big group of cronies who are willing to kill for him.
Middle-aged to late-age cronies. Yes. These are the oldest cronies. I mean, when
not in good shape.
Later,
when they're chasing after him, slowest chase scene of any movie I've ever seen.
They were like hunched over and very tired.
Yeah. But we'll dive into that a little more detail later. So he can't see Mary for real, so he has to like sneak to see her. So Tricky and him devise this plan that they're going to put a ladder up to her window so that Christopher can go in and make love to Mary. The house, it's a big mansion and it's dark, it's night. It's hard to tell where her room is. And they don't really know. They're like, I don't know which one in her bedroom, but I'm guessing it's this one. He sees like the shadow of a woman and just starts fooling around with her.
Crazy.
Tricky is outside watching the ladder. He sees Mary come out of a different window and is like, oh no, he's hooking up with her mom. So he goes up into the room and starts throwing stuff at him while he's thrusting into her mother.
Yeah.
And he's like, ow, why'd you do that? and he's like, get out, it's not what you think.
Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot a line before that that was kind of disturbing. When he first starts hooking up with the mom, he's like, I'll do all the work. And she's like, you're gonna have to because I took a lot of sleeping pills.
Oh my God. Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah, I don't know what that was. So Tricky throws stuff at him, so he jumps out of the mom and then runs back out the window. And they go back to the house. He's like, I've really fallen in love with Mary. I really want to marry her for real, not just for all the money. Mm-hmm. And Tricky's like, I need to get a cut of the money because I'm the one who gave you the lead on her. I read out loud that giant, bold headline.
That was on the newspaper.
While you were in the bathtub.
Is this before or after when she comes into their room with a big bag of money?
Oh, yeah.
This is after, right?
Mary's still sneaking around with them. Yeah. And she shows up to their apartment with a huge bag of money and is like, I'm taking you boys shopping.
Right.
And then she buys them like a $400,000 car in cash.
I think it was like for her birthday or something.
Yeah, her dad was like, here's your birthday bag of cash.
Loose, crumpled cash.
Loose, crumpled $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Prince just spends it the way he wants. And he's just like, goes up to somebody in a car and goes, how much for that car? $100? $400? $700,000? And the guy doesn't even respond. He's like just smiling at the money raining on him. He's like, yay.
Yeah. I think it said in the newspaper she was worth like 10 or 20 million dollars. Even if you're so
that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
They spent like a 20th of her net worth on a car on a random day.
That car can't be $700,000. No. That's a house.
Yeah. And at the time, this takes place, it was unclear when this is supposed to take place, but since it was shot entirely in black and white, I felt like it was implying that it was older than the 80s, that it was like the 40s.
So this is another big confusion point for me, is that from the poster alone, I was like, this is a period piece.
Yeah.
I was like, it's got to be. And then it's black and white. The whole movie's in black and white. But I think it's modern day. There's nothing.
I couldn't tell. I was confused.
Yeah,
Because there were some things that felt very 80s, and then there were some things that felt like they were trying to be more old-timey.
Yeah.
Like the costuming was confusing.
Well, they keep saying Sam Cooke records. They reference Sam Cooke records. So it's got to be post 60s.
Okay.
And this is 80s. It was shot in 85. So I think it's just really confused. I don't know. But everybody's dressed like the Great Gatsby.
Yes. But it's like an 80s interpretation of Roaring 20s wear. Like it
Yes.
doesn't quite look like it's from the 20s, but it doesn't really look like it's from the 80s either.
No, it definitely doesn't feel like the 80s. With the, like, sometimes Prince is wearing like a fun outfit that you feel like, oh, that could have been 85 or something.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it feels like everybody's out of the 20s.
Yes. But anyway, so Christopher goes to hang out with Mary again, and Tricky is waiting at a bar for him.
Yeah.
And he realizes that he got stood up. He's not coming to the bar. And he's all like, this isn't fair. We both are supposed to be doing stuff with Mary. So Tricky gets super drunk with his landlord that he's sleeping with. So Tricky and the landlord, Katie, go to confront Mary and Christopher. Tricky goes up to Christopher and he's like, hey, you left me waiting at the bar while you were doing stuff with Mary. And I deserve a cut of her money too. And he says this loudly in front of Mary.
Right, yeah.
And I was thinking, so you want to scam her? You're definitely not going to get away with it if you just tell her you were scamming her.
Yeah.
If he wanted to be strategic, he should have at least like said this to Christopher when they were in private.
Yeah. This is like one of the sloppier ways of like the script needs Mary to figure out that this was like a game.
Yeah.
And they couldn't figure out a way to do it. So they just had him drunk and loud coming out of the place.
And what they do is, I think Katie's like, why would you say that? And he goes, bitch, I'm a werewolf.
Yeah. He said, I'm a werewolf. Yeah. And they're like, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You've explained yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So I knew that because of the type of script it was, that at this point they would need to have some sort of falling out. But I thought it was going to be over her realizing that he had sex with her mom.
Yes.
Who at the time I thought was the same as Mrs. Wellington, who he also had sex with.
This whole time I thought Mrs. Wellington was the mom,
Me
honestly.
too.
And it was
Me
like
too.
almost like The Graduate or something, where that would be the reveal. Like he also had an affair with her mother, and which would have been like an interesting story thing, I guess. That's what The Graduate was. But also, just one thing about the werewolf line. That's like one of two things, because there's another thing earlier where Prince and her are dancing, and he's like, I'm going to give you the moon or something, where it's like, what is this title? Under the Cherry Moon. And it's like,
it never comes up.
Could have been a werewolf movie.
Yeah.
If he literally became a werewolf, it would be like, oh, that's what this was all about.
Yes.
Under the moon, he's a werewolf.
Would have been more fun if it was a werewolf movie.
Would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway. He's like, no, Mary, you don't understand. Like, I do love you. And she's like, I'm upset. And runs away. And then Mrs. Wellington is like, look, you really shouldn't be with Mary. I'll give you a bunch of money to leave her alone. So she gives him a check for $100,000. And one, it's unclear to me why Mrs. Wellington even cares.
Yeah.
When I thought that was her mom, I was like, okay, that makes sense. That's her mom. But like, it's just a family friend.
Yeah. Why is she getting involved?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's having sex with the dad. Why does she want to rock the boat?
Yeah, I don't understand that. Yeah.
No, but then he's like, no. So then he just like draws a silly thing on the check and hands it back to her. And she's like, "Oh, you." And then she's like, "I'm not supposed to say this, but Mary and her mom are going on their plane tonight on this airstrip to meet up with Jonathan."
Right.
So he's like, "Oh, I better go to their airstrip," which he just like knows where it is.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And it starts like he does like a car chase.
Yes.
He's like speeds through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, the dad is like to his cronies, "You need to stop these dudes who are trying to do stuff with my daughter." So they show up to Christopher and Tricky's apartment, just Tricky's home. They beat him up and they're like, "Where's Christopher?"
I don't know how they beat him up.
Yeah.
These guys are 65.
Yeah. But at least there are like, I think like 4 of them and 1 of him. But
Yes,
he
that's
is
true.
in
Yeah.
significantly better shape than they
Oh
are.
my God, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somehow he knows that Christopher went to the airstrip, even though it doesn't look like Christopher said it and they don't have cell phones in this day and age.
They left that out.
Yeah. But he's like, "Yeah, I'll tell you where Christopher is because you beat me up."
Yeah.
And also, I'm mad at Christopher.
Right. They're also not on speaking terms. So I don't know
Yes.
how he figured it out.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. I have no idea how he knew where to tell them he was going. But anyway, Christopher shows up to the airplane. It's just like a tiny little airplane. So he's like, "Mary, can I talk to you for just like 5 minutes?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, 5 minutes. And she's like, "Okay." So she gets in his car and he just drives away.
He was lucky enough to get 5 minutes. And then he's like, "I need a lifetime."
Yeah.
She's like, "I said 5 minutes."
Yeah.
And then he drives away.
Yeah, so he drives her to this alley and she's like, "I'm upset with you." And then he climbs in the back seat, puts on sunglasses, and then just stares straight ahead expressionlessly.
When he got into the back seat and he goes into the backseat, he like disappears. And I'm just in my head like, he's going to bring out a poem. He's going to bring out flowers or something. He comes back up with sunglasses and doesn't say anything. I was like, okay. Yeah. I guess he forgot his sunglasses were in the backseat. And he's like, shit, I need my sunglasses for this.
Yeah. And then they talk for a little bit. It doesn't really go anywhere, but somehow they've made up.
Yeah.
And they just start making out.
Kiss starts playing, one of the biggest Prince songs. And I found this so disappointing. I was like, it's Kiss. It's the big Prince song. Come on.
Yeah.
And
this is the scene that it plays over, this nothing scene.
It's a nothing scene. And they don't even play the full, like, get on the car and start dancing, man.
Yeah.
Come on. This should be big.
That should be a song where it's like triumphant.
Yeah.
But in this scene, they're still in danger.
Yeah.
Because Tricky shows up and he's like, "The cronies are chasing me."
Right.
And we see the cronies who are like a block away, sort of speed walking. I wouldn't say they're not doing a full run. That's too much for them. They're really getting the arms involved, but they're not moving very fast. And they're moving so slow that they don't all immediately run.
Yeah.
They just kind of like stand there and while Tricky explains the situation.
Right.
And then a few steps later, they stop walking and Christopher's like, "So you still mad at me?" And Tricky's like, "No, I'll be the best man at your wedding." And he's like, "Cool." And we look back and the cronies are still only a little bit closer than they were before because they're moving at such a slow clip.
When Tricky said that too, I was like, that's a good thing because Prince doesn't know anybody else.
Yes.
He literally doesn't know anyone else in this movie.
No. So right before that conversation, actually, Christopher had dropped Mary off at their sex grotto, which is just like a cave with candles that they go and do it in. And he left her a poem that's just like, "Even if I was dead, I would love you. I could die and that would be okay because I would still be around you somehow."
Smiley face.
Smiley face. And she gets him and reads it and is like, "Yeah.
Thanks.
So he's like, "Okay, I got to get Mary from my love cave." So he gets on a boat,
I don't know how.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
And then the cronies get in a boat too, and they're like chasing after him, and he leads them right to where like their cave is.
Right.
So he gets out of the boat and he's standing at the entrance of the cave, and the cronies come up and they shoot him dead.
Yeah.
And he takes like a really long time to die and doesn't appear to be in any pain.
When he first gets shot, he does like a Prince move where he does like a dance almost, like a little brief dance. I was like, if this movie had a sense of humor, which it doesn't really, he would do like a full on like splits and like a backflip or something.
Well, he looked so fine and unbothered by it that I thought it was going to be one of those scenes there are in movies where it's like, psych, I had something under my shirt, but it's not.
No.
So he's shot. Her dad comes out and she's like, Father, you killed Christopher. And he's like, now you have to marry Jonathan, the guy that I like.
That's what this is all. Can you shoot somebody for that?
No. No.
I don't understand how that happened. Like,
how he would like get away with that?
Because who shot him? It wasn't one. It felt like the Coast Guard did it.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't the cronies.
On Wikipedia, it said the police, but I don't understand.
For what?
For what? Yeah.
Yeah. For being on a boat?
Well, he's not even on a boat. He's like outside of a cave at that point.
Very weird.
Her dad's like, now it's time for you to come home with me. And she's like, no, I'm going with Christopher. So I immediately was like, oh my God, is she going to kill herself?
That would have been nuts.
But she just means she's going to go with his body on the Coast Guard boat.
Yeah.
So they go on the boat, and then it cuts to this like really bizarre scene. Tricky and Katie, the landlord, are in Miami, Florida.
Right.
You would think because Mary was like one of the more main characters, we'd like see what's going on with her. But Tricky's like, I got a letter from Mary.
Yeah.
And then he starts reading it and then stops. And we hear like a voiceover of Mary. So normally when a character is reading something and we hear a voiceover from the person who wrote it, we're assuming they're reading it to themselves, correct?
Yeah, totally.
In this movie, Katie can also hear her voice because her voiceover starts. She's like, I hope you're enjoying being a landlord now that I bought this whole apartment building for you to have.
Right.
And Tricky goes, it's fine. And Katie also reacts to what's being said in the letter as if she can hear as well. As if this is almost like a Harry Potter universe type letter where when you open it, it reads itself and everyone can hear.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So apparently now he's a landlord of this building, and he's letting Katie live in the building, and Katie's behind on rent, and he's like, I'm gonna kick you out if you don't pay me soon because you also can't just sleep with me for rent. I know I was trying to do that, but I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, Tricky.
And I thought like, oh, Tricky's gonna be like, gotcha, or something like that, but it seemed like he was just serious.
Yeah, he was.
He was like, nope, this is how I feel.
Yeah, he's like, I run a tight ship here. And then it just ends.
Yeah.
And in her letter after asking about the apartment, she's like, I love Christopher still. It was a magical time for me, and I'm still loving him while he's dead.
And then the camera pans up to heaven. And Christopher is playing in Abandoned Heaven. And over the credits, they have like a little band sequence.
Yeah. So do you think it deserved a Razzie?
I'm going to say no.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think this was as bad as Howard the Duck. Can I do my little production notes?
Oh yeah, totally.
So this is like Prince's blank check movie after Purple Rain. Purple Rain is directed by somebody else, conceived by Prince, but had a lot of creative people behind the camera. This movie was originally supposed to be directed by Mary Lambert.
Who's that?
She is a music video director. Didn't direct a movie at the time, but later on in 1989, she would do Pet Sematary. She became like a horror film director. And Pet Sematary back then was the highest grossing film directed by a woman.
Wow.
So she became like a pretty groundbreaking filmmaker. I think that would have been a more interesting film if this was directed by her.
I think so too, but also I think this script was so bad
Yes.
I worry that if she directed it, she would have not gotten the chance to direct Pet Sematary.
Well, that's true too. It could have been that. It could have been a career-killing kind of a movie. It feels like one big part of this that I think is particularly bad. Prince has a very bad sense of humor.
Yes.
He is not a funny person, but he insisted on trying to do a lot of comedic timing in this film. And there's a lot of stuff that just isn't funny and just falls dead.
Yes.
There's another scene in this. Him and Tricky are in a restaurant, and Prince is like, nothing scares me. And Tricky goes, what about bats? And he looks up, and there's bats in the restaurant, and they start screaming and running out.
And then the whole restaurant runs out. Yeah, that part was very strange and confusing to me.
And it feels like somebody...
I was like, why are there bats in a random restaurant?
There wouldn't be. There wouldn't be bats in a restaurant.
Yeah.
I think like that was just like Prince thought that would be funny, and he put that into the movie. So when she left over creative differences and Prince takes over and then he becomes the director, I think there's just a lot of stuff in here that just doesn't make sense because he thought it was funny or he thought something would be sexy, but it doesn't play into his strengths, which is he's a music performer. And I think it could have been a great musical.
Yeah, and I also think the whole premise of him being a gigolo or a guy who like through his sexiness scams all these rich women out of money could have been super fun.
Yeah.
If it was done in like a even sillier, campier way, and a way that like had a easier to follow plot, and like it wouldn't be that hard to write a story about a girl who's like betrothed to someone else, and then like he's trying to seduce her for money, and then he really falls in love with her, but the banter just falls so flat that the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah, and it could have been just like in Purple Rain, it feels like some of the dramatic scenes fall a little flat, but it's okay because it's really just
a bunch of music videos.
Yeah, it's like trying to get to the music parts, and like I feel that way with like a lot of musicals. The scenes without music are not particularly fantastic, but it's just a reason to get to the music. But there is no music. Like there's just like little parts here and there, but there's no scenes like that. It's also 4 years before Pretty Woman, which is like also a movie about a sex worker who falls in love with a wealthy socialite. And I thought that would have been a good movie with Prince. Like with Prince in the Julia Roberts kind of role. And because it's a similar setup, but there's no story in this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are just doing things that don't really make any sense. Yeah, it just feels like everybody's kind of going through the motions.
Yeah. Another thing, the score. Like not the songs, but the score was so weird in this movie. Like there'd be a dramatic scene and there'd be like a synthesizer playing and I'm like, it's not matching up to what's going on.
No, and like even his songs, which I think are good songs, they just didn't really make sense with what was going on. Like when they came on, the lyrics just felt so mismatched with what was going on screen most of the time.
Yeah.
Even like in the scene where they're making out and it's kiss, like the lyrics just don't, like the whole like, you don't have to be beautiful to like be my girl. It's like, I think the only reason he likes her is her looks, actually, because they don't get along. They
don't have a single scene where they connect.
No.
And it would have been very interesting to see that happen because it's a fun dynamic that he's coming from like the crazy music world and she's coming from this like socialite world.
Yeah, but the whole thing doesn't really make sense too because they're constantly making fun of her for being too uptight and too controlled by her parents. But throughout this whole movie, it seems like she's kind of doing whatever she wants. Like,
yes, like that's true. Yeah.
Like, why would you introduce a character who's supposed to be too uptight and not fun by having her flash everyone that she knows and like jump on the drums? she is like racing him at the racetrack, and she's like going out to this club for her birthday, and then they're like singing together. Like, it really doesn't seem like she's particularly uptight. Like, sure, she's not super worldly, which they make fun of her for, but the only thing that she's really like quote unquote letting her parents control is like they're saying she's got to marry Jonathan, but she's not even like definitely set on going along with that. She's like, not even before he comes into the picture, she's not really sure if she's going to go for Jonathan.
Yeah, they really sell her character short because she is a free spirit.
Yeah.
And that's only displayed in that once, like that first 15, 20 minutes. Then when the movie kicks in, they abandon that concept. That would have been a better film, though. Like, for instance, when they're in the restaurant and he starts to get up and he starts singing, that would have been a great opportunity for her to get up on stage too and start jamming with him.
Yeah, and then we could see them connecting through music. So we'd at least have some reason they're connecting.
Yeah, like I felt conflicted because this is a bad movie, but I feel like there's so much to be done. Like there's a good movie buried inside of it.
Yes. But I actually feel that way about Howard the Duck, too.
That's true. What do you think? Because this was tied with Howard the Duck. Do you feel one was worse than the other or better than the other?
Honestly, I think this was a little bit worse than Howard the Duck. I know that's going to be controversial, but but Howard the Duck at least had like more interesting visuals. Every couple lines, someone would say something so crazy that at least it was engaging. Whereas this, I felt like it was really hard for me to pay attention. Like, I just found myself zoning out. And I heard that part of the reason why it doesn't look that great as a film is that even though it's in black and white, they shot it in color. And when you light something for black and white versus color, you're supposed to make it like higher contrast so you can like see things better, and they didn't do that. Like the film itself just kind of like falls flat.
That was another thing that I thought this was a huge mistake, making the movie in black and white, because part of Prince's aesthetic is color.
Yes.
Purple Rain, Little Red Corvette, computer. I mean, like he does a lot of bright colors in his music and in his videos, and a lot of the outfits I was like, I want to see this in color. Yeah, it was doing like there was
like a particular shot where Tricky's like, which color should I wear, and he holds up two shirts and you can't tell which color either of them are, and I was like, I wish we knew, like, and he's like blue, and then they both laugh, and I'm like, maybe it's funny if you can tell what kind of blue it is.
Yes, it would have been funnier. Yes. Yeah, I thought that was a mistake, but I don't wish this movie but would be more successful. But if it was, we could have asked, hey, release the color print, because they shot it in color.
Yeah, I think I saw somewhere that they don't still have it for some reason.
Oh, okay, forget it.
So
there goes that
it's
plan.
gone forever.
I was going to stage a whole Threads protest, get everybody on my side to release the color cut.
Yeah.
I could go either way with this or Howard the Duck.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they were both bad in different ways, but at least Howard the Duck, it felt like something was going on a lot of the time. Whereas this, there were long periods of time where I was just like, okay, can we get to the next plot point?
Howard the Duck had plot, and this did not have plot. It didn't unravel. It just...
Yeah, the plot in Howard the Duck wasn't good, but it was there.
It kept trying to unravel itself into a story, and this one, it has this one beat that it just drills over and over again. I don't like when characters also needlessly die. I also felt like, okay, you're just forcing a dramatic climax at this point.
Yeah, it just felt like, isn't her dad worried he's going to get arrested now? Like, that has to be pretty bad for business, to murder someone in front of like a ton of different witnesses.
Well, that's why I was wondering if he was part of the mob or something, because only a mobster would do something like that.
Yeah, I was wondering that too, but then they never explicitly say that. And then on Wikipedia, they said that he just was like a real estate guy.
Those real estate moguls get away with murder.
Yeah, I guess so.
That also seems like a good opportunity where it's like, if she was the daughter of a mob boss, that would have been an interesting dynamic too.
Yes.
Him just being a real estate guy with no importance to
Wait, can we look it up? Because it might have been shipping. I thought it was...
Shipping is not that much different than
real estate?
I mean, shipping?
Yeah.
That's like equally as boring.
It was definitely something boring, but
He's in shipping and receiving. And he's on a boat saying, "Shoot that guy."
Wait, is that what?
No.
That's what you're saying.
I'm just like,
if
he is in shipping and receiving, doesn't that seem? People in shipping and receiving don't have hired goons.
No.
What does it say? Her father is a shipping magnate. Magnet?
You don't think that people in the shipping business is having the ability to just kill random people?
No.
It's not like this is happening in the middle of nowhere. It's happening in like the French Riviera in like a pretty like busy part of town. Like there are people around. And also Mary's pissed and she leaves and he's not like, maybe my daughter's going to tell people that I killed someone.
Yeah. He's starting to have second doubts. Like, maybe I shouldn't have killed that guy.
Yeah.
Maybe I overreacted. Meanwhile, Jonathan's like waiting at the house. Like, I wonder what's going on.
Yeah. My girl's going to call me long distance any moment now.
I think if Prince didn't direct this, it would have been a better thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the script could have been like way crazier or way more basic.
Yes.
But it felt like they were trying to take kind of a basic story. Guy from the wrong side of the tracks falls in love with like the rich, uptight girl. But then they put in all this extra stuff that was just very confusing and drew it out and you weren't really sure what was going on. And like the dialogue just didn't really click at all.
Yeah. I think a simpler script would have been so much better because like you think of the script for Pretty Woman, like it's very simple, but it's very effective. You know, you're relying on the also the person who played Mary is Kristen Scott Thomas, who turned out to have like a long career. She was an English Patient. She got nominated for that, for an Oscar. And she has a bad feeling about this movie.
Oh, really? What did she say about it?
She said something along the lines of, I'm like at the stage where I only pick good scripts. I only want, it doesn't matter what the pay is or something like that. You just got to make sure it's a good script. Just look at my first movie. And this was her first movie.
Nice.
So, yeah. She wasn't thrilled about it. But I don't think she's bad in the movie. And I think they gave her a Razzie for worst supporting actress. But I thought she was okay with what she was given.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she was told to do that uppity British accent, and that's what she delivers.
Yeah. So I think it's a little, I don't think that's deserving.
I think it would have been more interesting if she was doing a French accent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been interesting if it was like really done as a French cast. And Prince is like the American in France.
Yeah. I thought there was going to be more like we're doing cultural differences type situation, but they didn't really do much with that.
I also wanted Prince to, like, when they were going out on dates, like, bring her into his world of, like, musicians and stuff. And, like, the place that they bring her to the restaurant, it's, like, also kind of stuffy and uptight.
Yeah, he keeps acting like he's gonna bring her into his world, and then he just brings her to a cave. And the cave is, like, covered in candles. And I was like, how did he get all these candles in this cave? And, like, he lit all of them, and...
By the way, weird callback for anyone who's watched The English Patient. That's where Kristen Scott Thomas and Ralph Fiennes are. They wind up in a cave.
Oh, wow.
Maybe the same cave.
Perhaps.
That'd be fun if Prince showed up at the English patient. He's like, I'm back.
Do you have a palate cleanser for this week?
I watched Sign of the Times, which is Prince's concert movie.
Oh.
He released it a year after this. So I think, like, because this failed.
This was his palate cleanser.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I got to get back to basics and show people what I'm about. So it's a concert with him and his band. The band is awesome. He's amazing. So I would highly recommend that.
Cool.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't know if I've seen anything good this week. Is that bad?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be something from long ago, too.
Okay, yeah. A few months ago, I finished reading All Fours by Miranda July, and it's a really good book. It's so creative and smart and funny, just all around delightful.
Nice.
Yeah. Does that about do it?
I mean, I guess that's it.